Welcome on in, trainers. This video is a little bit longer than normal because we have two huge Unova events coming up, Road to Unova and Unova Tour. We are going to go over all those event details. I put timestamps down below so you can skip to whichever information you want. But first, let's start with our normal weekly stuff, which is our GBL Cups here. We have all three open leagues available from February 18th to the 25th. Then from February 25th to March 4th is Great League and Master League Mega Edition making a return. All right, next up, let's take a look at our max battles. The bosses will be switching out Monday, February 24th. We will see Pidove, Darumaka, and Sobble. Now Sobble evolves into Inteleon, which is still a good water counter, and then Darumaka is a new one and it can be shiny. And that means this week for our Max Mondays, which happen every Monday from 6 to 7 p.m., we're gonna get Darumaka taking over all those max power spots. Next up, let's talk about our Spotlight Hour, which happens every Tuesday from 6 to 7 p.m. Because of the Unova Tour, this week we are gonna have the Unova starters in there, and we will be getting the bonus of 2x catch candy. All right, now let's talk about one non-Unova related raid here, and that is Mega Garchomp, which will stay in the Mega Raids until March 4th. In my previous video, I went over all its uses and some counters. It is a useful Pokemon, so if you're looking for that information, I'll link that in the description down below. All right, now let's talk about our Unova events. Get comfy, there is a lot to talk about here. There is a lot of good stuff out during both of these events. Starting with the Road to Unova event on February 24th to the 28th, you want to watch out for that Tour Pass that will be opening up then. There is a free version of this that everyone gets, and then there is also a paid track for $15 USD that gets you some more rewards, an instant encounter with Victini, and then when you complete it, a new item called the Lucky Trinket that when activated makes your next trade guaranteed lucky with one chosen friend, as long as you are great friends at a minimum with that person and you aren't already lucky friends. Another important thing to note here is that this item will disappear from your bag on March 9th at 6 p.m. if you haven't used it by then. So definitely use it before then. Even if you're not going to do the trade, turn that one friend lucky before March 9th at 6 p.m. And then if you're doing the free track, your final reward won't be the Lucky Trinket. It is going to be a Zorua that could potentially be shiny and will have a special background as well. Now, each time you complete a major milestone, you'll get increasing bonuses for catch XP, starting with 1.5 times catch XP. Then the next one is 2 times catch XP, and the third one is 3 times catch XP. Another thing to note here is you can pay another $5 above that $15 and you will get 10 of those levels of the Tour Pass completed for you. But personally, I think the fun of buying these is actually playing them. So for me, paying that extra $5 to jump 10 ranks kind of actually takes away from the $15 pass. Okay, now in terms of what is happening during this event, we are going to have some wild encounters. That is going to be for the Unova starters and some rarer encounters for their stage 1 evolutions. And then we're also going to get 2-kilometer event eggs that are going to have the following Pokemon in them. But the real event here is the legendary and mythical raids. Every day from Monday to Friday will feature a different set of these mythical or legendary raid bosses. And the day that those Pokemon are featured in the raids, they will also get a raid hour from 6 to 7 p.m., which means yes, we are having a raid hour every single day from Monday to Friday. Now, I already put out a video going over all the raid bosses, their usefulness, and their counters. Again, I will link that down below and at the end of the video. But a couple other things to remember here is that all of the Pokemon will know their signature moves, and they will all be able to be shiny, and they will all have a chance at having a special Unova-themed background. So let's go over the schedule. Genesect in all its forms will be out on Monday, February 24th, and then it will have that raid hour from 6 to 7 p.m. The Swords of Justice will be out on Tuesday, February 25th. Terrakion here is the most useful in terms of raids in GBL. The Therian forms will be out Wednesday, February 26th. Now, Landorus is the most useful one here in terms of raids in GBL. And then Reshiram will be out on Thursday, February 27th. It is a good fire type, and you need it to fuse with Kyurem for a white Kyurem. And then Zekrom will be out on Friday, February 28th. It is a good electric type, and you do need it to fuse with Kyurem to get black Kyurem. Now, to help with all these raids and eggs, we are going to have a few bonuses here. That is going to include half hatch distance, and then the remote raid pass limit will be increased to 20 from Monday, February 25th to Friday, February 28th. And then on the weekend for Unova Tour, there will be no remote raid limit Saturday and Sunday. Now, there is also going to be a timed research that is going to reward encounters with these mythicals and legendaries. Now, it doesn't actually say when the research will end. I'm assuming it's either going to be Friday or Sunday. That is the end of the 2 Unova events. But the encounters go in this order here. Note that they can be shiny, but they cannot have the special backgrounds, and there is no mention of the moves, but it does seem likely that they will have them since you will get them with the moves from the raids. There's also going to be some field research for this event that will reward these Pokemon here. And then there is also going to be a masterwork research for $5 USD that starts on February 24th. You can purchase it from then all the way until Sunday. That is the end of the global Unova tour, and that is going to reward you an encounter with shiny Meloetta. Now keep in mind, masterwork research are intended to be hard to complete. You're not likely going to complete this in the time before Unova tour ends. Now there's also a couple tickets to talk about here. These tickets are actually going to apply both to the Road to Unova and the Unova tour event. So let's jump into those and take a look at what they offer. First ticket is the raid ticket for $5 USD. You get a timed research that awards all these Candy XLs for the legendary and mythical raid bosses and the black and white Jogger's avatar item, plus the bonuses of an additional 5,000 XP from completed raids and one additional Candy and Candy XL awarded for catching Pokemon in 5-star raids. And then also 2 times Stardust from raid battles, plus 1 additional raid pass from spinning the photo discs at gyms each day, which means you'll actually get 3 daily passes for the time of Road to Unova and Unova Tour. Now the second ticket is the Hatch ticket. Again, you'll get another timed research that will reward encounters with Maractus, Sigalith, and Bouffalont. It's also going to give you the black and white hoodie avatar items. The bonuses you're going to get here for this ticket are 2 times Hatch XP, 2 times Hatch Candy, and 2 times Hatch Stardust. Now keep in mind that both of the research from these tickets are timed, so if you don't complete them and claim the rewards by March 2nd at 6 p.m., they will disappear. Now, as I said, the bonuses from those tickets not only apply to Road to Unova, they also apply to the Unova Tour. We're going to go over all the details for Unova Tour right now. I did put out a prep guide that you can check out as well, but right now, let's talk about everything you're going to see in terms of wild encounter spawns, research, and the event badge that you have to make a choice between. So for the wild spawns, if you haven't played one of these events before, there are going to be 4 habitats that will rotate hourly. Because it's an 8-hour event, that means we will get each habitat for 2 hours in total. And note that everything here can be shiny, and there's a few other regionals in here that we're going to talk about. Now here are the Pokemon for the Winter Caverns habitat. Some notable ones: Oshawott evolves into Samurott, who is good in the Great League in the non-shadow form, and Spice in the Ultra League and Master League as a shadow, all with the legacy move Hydro Cannon though, so you either need to wait to evolve it when you can get that move or use an elite charge TM. We have Roggenrola, which evolves into Gigalith, which is a decent budget rock type raid attacker, and Spice in the Master League and Ultra League. Drillbur is good to catch for the candies, but get the Dynamax version to evolve and power up. Deerling Winter will be shiny for the first time in this habitat. And then we have Axew here, which evolves into Haxorus, which is a good dragon type raid attacker. Now here are the Pokemon for the Spring Soiree habitat. Some notable ones are Snivy, which evolves into Superior, which is good in the Great League and Ultra League with the legacy move Frenzy Plant. So again, you either have to wait to evolve it or use an elite charge TM. Then we have Pansage, which is a regional form usually locked to the Asia Pacific region, but will be global for this event. Then we have Audino, which does have a Mega. It's not in the game, but right now the best thing about it is the 2,100 Stardust it gives for catching. If it's weather boosted and or you have a star piece on, you get even more Stardust. So definitely catch every one of these things that you see. Timber is another good one for the candies. It evolves into Conkeldurr, which as a shadow is the number 5 fighting type raid attacker and good in the Master League. The non-shadow is also a decent budget fighting type raid attacker though. Next is Venipede, which evolves into Scolipede. That's good in some limited cups. Same thing with Cottony here, which evolves into Whimsicott. It is good in the Great League and even better in some limited cups. Deerling Spring will be out during this one, and that is another shiny debut. And then we have Fungus, which is another boosted Stardust catch. Now here are the Pokemon for the Summer Vacation habitat. Some notable ones here: Tepig is the final starter from the Unova region. It isn't great for much even as a budget fire type. It doesn't rank too well. Then we have Pansear, which is another regional form usually locked to Europe, the Middle East, Africa, and India, but will be global for the event. Darumaka here evolves into Darmanitan, which has fallen as a raid attacker, but it will be a max battle boss. So if you get some candies for this one and you need a fill-in fire type Dynamax Pokemon, that could be a good one to go after. Trubbish is another boosted Stardust catch. And then we have Deerling Summer, which can be shiny again for the first time in Pokemon Go. Emolga is good in the Great League and in some limited cups. And then Stunfisk here is really good in the Great League and Ultra League. And we also have Rufflet, which evolves into Braviary, which is a good fighting type raid attacker, excluding Megas, Shadows, and Legendaries. It's not the easiest to get candies for. It did have a Spotlight Hour once or twice before. Now here are the Pokemon for the Autumn Masquerade habitat. Some notable ones here include Panpour. This one normally only spawns in the Americas and Greenland, but again will be global for the event. Scraggy evolves into Scrafty, which is now Spice in the Great League and Ultra League. Yamask evolves into Coffagrigus, which is good in the Ultra League and Spice in the Great League. Deerling Autumn again is the shiny debut for the Deerling form here. Frillish evolves into Jellicent and is Spice in the Great League and Ultra League. Litwick evolves into Chandelure, which is a good budget Ghost type raid attacker and a decent budget Fire type raid attacker and Spice in the Master League. Golett is another good one for the candies. It evolves into Golurk. It's best as a shadow in the Great League and the Ultra League, but it can be run as a non-shadow in both as well. Dino here evolves into Hydreigon, which is a good dark type raid attacker, but you do want the Brutal Swing legacy move, so again, either wait to evolve it or use an Elite Charge TM. And then we're also going to have these costume Pikas out with the trainer hats, which can also be shiny during the event. Okay, let's look at the eggs and incense, then we're going to jump into the bonuses, research, and raids for this event. Here are the 2-kilometer eggs. The only real notable one in here that we haven't talked about that were in the wild is Larvesta, which evolves into Volcarona, which is the #1 bug type raid attacker excluding Megas, but it's hatch only, so definitely a hard one to get candies for. In the 5-kilometer eggs, we will have some regionals here. That's Throw and Sock are a regional duo, and then so are Heatmore and Durant. So you likely see one of each of these pairs spawn in your area. Whichever one you don't see, that is a regional that you're not able to get unless you travel to somewhere else. So you could go after it in the 5-kilometer eggs. But note you can also get it from encounters through party play challenges during this event. So definitely worth playing with a friend or two during the event if you can. Then in the 10-kilometer eggs, we're gonna have some more regionals. That's Maractus, Sigalith, and Bouffalante. All are locked to certain parts of the world outside of events like these. However, it's really hard to go after them in eggs. You can't determine which egg you get from spinning stops. It's just kind of luck. Now, something important to note here is that keep in mind, all your old eggs will not have these hatch pools. You have to get the eggs during the event to be able to hatch these Pokemon from them. So you want to try and clear out your egg space as much as you can. My recommendation right now, leading up to the event, is hatch anything that isn't a 2-kilometer egg. Then when the event starts, it'll be easy to clear out those 2-kilometer eggs, especially with that half hatch distance bonus that we're gonna get. We'll talk about the bonuses more in a second though. Okay, from the incense, that's regular incense, not daily adventure incense, we are gonna get the unknowns that spell out Unova, and they can be shiny. These are very rare, so definitely good to run incense for as much as you can, and definitely watch out for all of those unknowns spawning. Okay, now let's talk about the rest of those bonuses there. We are gonna get that half hatch distance from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. each day, but the other bonuses are actually going to be active for the entire weekend, not just the event hours. So we're going to get no remote raid limit, 6 special trades, and half Stardust cost for trades. So definitely make sure to get those 6 special trades done per day. Maybe plan them out ahead of time if you can, but you don't have to do them during the event hours. You can do them after 6 p.m. Now there's also going to be field research for the event as well that is going to reward encounters with these Pokemon here. The Basculin from these will have a higher chance of being extra small or extra large. And then we also have the shiny debut Deerling in there. Note you can also get more encounters with the Basculin forms when playing while on a route, as they will appear more frequently there. Okay, now we're going to talk about the special research and the raids together because these tie very closely. We don't know a whole lot about the special research, but we do know that it's going to require you to choose between either the black event badge or the white event badge. We'll talk about that more in a second when we get to the 5-star raids, but in terms of the 1-star raids, we are going to see those costume Pikas if you want more cracks at those shinies, and then we're going to see Druddigon in there in the 3-star raids. But the main feature here is the 5-star raids where we're going to see Zekrom, Reshiram, Black Kyurem, and White Kyurem. Those are the 2 fusion forms of Kyurem there. Now, when you defeat the fusion forms, they will separate. You will get their corresponding fusion energy, which you need to fuse Kyurem with either Zekrom or Reshiram, and then you will have a chance to catch Kyurem, which can be shiny. However, Kyurem will only know its signature move Glaciate depending on which event badge you choose in that special research branching story. And to get the fusion form's signature move when you fuse them, Kyurem does need to know that legacy move Glaciate. So if you choose the black version of the badge, you will get Reshiram themed research rewards, and all Kyurem encounters after defeating Black Kyurem will know the charged attack Glaciate. If you choose the white version of the event badge, you will get Zekrom themed research rewards, and all Kyurem encounters after defeating White Kyurem will know the charged attack Glaciate. Yes, that sounds a little bit backwards, but it relates to the main series games where if you played the black version, you got Reshiram, and if you played the white version, you got Zekrom. And then the backgrounds are going to work the same way. So Zekrom will have a chance to have the white background, Reshiram will have a chance to have the black background, Kyurem will have a chance to have either background, And if you fuse a Kyurem with, say, the white background with a Reshiram that has the black background, you're gonna get a fusion background that is only coming from those special mixed background fusions. Okay, now in terms of raid counters, I already put out a video that goes over all the raid counters for both Road to Unova and Unova Tour, including black and white Kyurem. I also go over their signature moves and the adventure effects they have and how those work. So if you want to check that out, I will link it at the end of this video and in the description down below. All right, everybody, that's all the information I have for you in this video. I hope that was helpful. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them in the comments section down below or pop on over to our Discord. Lots of knowledgeable people there that can help you out. But right now we have to say a huge thank you to our mythical members, King's Lounge, Body on a Planet, and Kate. Thank you to them for supporting the channel at the mythical level, as well as all of our members and all of you who watch these videos. Come to the live streams, whether you lurk or chat. All of that stuff is super, super helpful. Very grateful for all of you. Lots of fun events coming up. I hope you get yourself some nice, shiny legendaries with backgrounds, and we'll see you in the next one, friends.
I've got something incredibly funky.